7:30 p.m. Good evening. It is Wednesday, March 20th. This is a regularly scheduled meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. If you are not here for the Zoning Board of Appeals, leave. We ask that everybody in the audience stay quiet. When you would like to address the panel, please step up to the microphone and state your name clearly. Please silence all cell phones. I am the chair for this evening. I'm a 20-year town Darien resident. I love our town. I love our board. So the first thing we're going to do tonight, we have some postponements and continuations. So we're going to open the first hearing, which is calendar number 4-2024, the application of Tracy Farr to allow the construction of one-story, second-story, and roof construction additions at 2 Meadowbrook Road. We're going to open this and immediately continue this hearing to April 17th, which is our next scheduled hearing. And that request was due to the lack of a 5-panel membership. Is that enough for the record?
For that it is.
For that it is? Okay.
Thank you.
Now on to our public hearings. Just a note, since there are only 4 members tonight, when we deliberate, you would need all 4 of us to vote unanimously in favor of your application for it to pass. Normally with a 5-member board, you would just need a majority of 3. So if that changes anyone's mind about what they want to present to us tonight, keep that in mind when you present. You're welcome to step up and ask for a continuation. Okay, on to our first application, calendar number 3-2024, the application of Mr. Mike Vitti on behalf of the Norotan Fire Department. Working hard this evening, I know. To allow the construction of a second-story addition at 1921 Boston Post Road. Mike, in the history of applications, I've never seen anything so brief. There was a very small item K, so thank you. Enlighten us.
Okay.
Please state your name for the record.
Mike Vitti, past chief, Norotan Fire Department. We purchased a house back in December for our younger members. We have a problem keeping them in town after they finish college, so we thought we'd invest in a place to keep them close to the firehouse where they can respond to night calls, weekend calls. So we purchased the house knowing we had to put some money into it. And the upstairs bathroom, we have to convert to a full bathroom. Well, where the bathroom sits now, we'd have to encroach on one of the bedrooms. So if you look at the floor plan, it would really restrict one of the bedrooms. And we'd like to get either a 4th bedroom or at least a TV room for the 2nd floor. With the option, if we ever had to use it, we could use 3 bedrooms. And the 4th option of either a bedroom or a TV room up on the 2nd floor. So we hired a designer, architect, Mark Andre. He gave us a rough draft. I'm sorry we just got him this afternoon.
Okay.
I was hoping to have it sooner, but, so I didn't want to cancel. We're on a roll, so let's keep it going. Trying to get the guys in for September if possible, but we'll work around any limitations we can on time. But basically, I guess our setbacks is either 0 or 4. So the existing houses right now is 1.1. So we could build to 0 right to the property line, but that's not going to look attractive. We could bring it in to the 4-foot mark where you need. That's not going to look attractive either. So we'd just like to go straight up with it and out the back with a 2-foot cantilever. If I could show you. Everybody has all the layouts. So basically, this little pitched roof would come off, we cantilever out 2 feet, come up, and then just connect the main roofs. So basically we'll be gaining 216 square feet. That's all we're really asking for.
Mike, which portion, can you show us on here, is already within the setback?
It would be on the other side,
Okay,
and it would be this corner over here.
okay. Do you happen to know what portion that
It's
is?
1.5 right now, 1.5 off the property line.
1.5 feet?
Yeah.
That's it?
Well, we could either go to 0
Right.
or 4.
Or 1, I think you said 1.1. Okay, got it. 0 or 1.5 feet. Okay, got it. 1.5 feet times the length?
It goes on it's kind of like a little pie shaped.
Okay.
So and when you get to the front, it opens up a little bit more.
Okay.
So,
The hardship for this application?
right now, we don't want to bring it out to 0 because it's going to look ugly to the neighbors. I bring it in, it's going to be the same thing. So basically, the first floor is not conforming, and we just want to go straight up with it.
Okay.
Keep everything in line. keep it symmetrical, aesthetically pleasing.
Mike, is this just for the use of the fire department?
Yes, that's all this is for.
Okay, it's not an income property,
No.
there's no, okay.
But actually, it's gonna cost us money.
Good question. Okay, and the third floor, is anything happening with,
That's gonna be another bedroom, so.
okay,
So we'll have a bedroom on the third floor, two to three possibly on the second floor. We have to put a kitchen downstairs and another bathroom.
okay, got it. John, start with you?
Is the
Questions?
2-foot overhang encroachment on the setback also, or only the piece that's within that 0 or 4?
Only the piece that's in the 0 to 4,
Okay.
which would be this corner going forward.
Matt?
The neighboring property, is the structure also at 0 feet?
No,
to
it's
their
the setback, it's the gas station, it's the lower
Okay.
gas station. So there's a stone wall in between us.
That's right.
There's a parking lot, and then you have the building. So there's probably about 20 feet to the building
Okay,
from the corner of our property.
I see.
Mike, if you don't do this, what other options are there?
There's not really too many others. We're kind of tight on space all the way around.
Okay,
Basically, that, right now, would be cost effective for us, because we already got the foundation in. There's a first floor. We could build directly above it, and to save us some money.
okay. So I'll let you talk, and then I want to ask about the hardship again. Go ahead.
You know, I was gonna ask.
Same thing. I'm a little
I was gonna try
confused
to
about
lead the
that, yeah.
witness a little bit.
Yeah,
Just one more thing.
Yeah.
Somebody looked at the foundation, you're good, because you're gonna use the
Yes,
existing
we were built on
foundation?
top of it already. Bob Cal, this used to be Fox Hill Building. They went through the whole thing.
Okay.
So, in order for us to grant the variance, state law requires us to find that there's something unusual about this property that's creating a hardship. So, can you describe for us, if you know, otherwise I think we can try to dig it out in the records, like the size of the lot as compared to other lots, how narrow it is, how deep it is? Do you have any of that sort of information about that?
Full of plot plan.
Yeah, if you could just, I think it's important to get on the record the size of the lot in terms of acreage for this zoning district
Okay.
and compared to the others, and the width of the lot, so that we can then determine whether that's unusual and creates a hardship that wouldn't allow you to build something reasonable on the site.
Like 1.12, our lot right now.
That's the total acreage? Okay, and I presume this zoning district requires what, do we know, is that 0.3?
I thought this was 1/3 zoning. Is it 1/3?
Partially in the way back is residential, but where the building is, it's the neighborhood business, commercial zone.
And does that have a specific
Yeah.
requirement?
Acreage?
Yeah, I'm just looking at, I'm showing just for the record
Sorry,
that
I-
the total acreage of this lot, presumably you produce this is
Yes.
accurate?
Yeah,
It's 0.157.
something like that.
It looks like the depth of the lot varies from 83 feet to 100 feet on one side. And I can't tell what the frontage is. It's
Yeah.
kind of, am I in the right place?
No,
No?
that's the other.
Oh, that's the other one, I'm sorry. I'm in the wrong
Oh,
one.
tree,
It's like 26, 27.
Oh, here it is.
correct.
Oh, so I don't know if I
Where,
have
from the
acreage
front?
right.
It was on-
Matt said it's about 27 feet from the front.
To the building.
So I just want to make sure I'm right then for the record. Is the frontage on Boston Post Road 41 feet? Is that right, Woody?
Yes, that's what the survey
it's
says, yes.
41 feet. Looks like, is that right? 81.3 is the total depth?
No, I think it's a combination of a couple different numbers there. So it's fairly deep, and there is a parking area, I think, in the back that's
Okay.
fairly sizable. That'll accommodate all the
Okay. But so
residents.
because I guess what they're asking for is side yard setbacks. And in
Yes.
terms of the side, the width of the lot is only 41 feet
And it's an
wide.
odd-shaped pie
Not shaped,
lot,
very narrow.
okay?
Oh, I see, I just go all the way back there, right. And Woody, is the total acreage on here anywhere? Or no?
Probably, unless that's just a segment of the survey, I don't know.
Okay,
About .12 is what they said.
okay, about .12.
Typically, what
okay.
we've accepted is that they have an existing building that's already in a non-conforming spot.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking to do, I guess you could say is the logical up and over, and they're stuck with the footprint already.
Right, yeah. I'm just trying to create a record for us.
That's
Yeah.
kind of the hardship.
Because Mike, one of the things we look for is the minimum adjustment to get it done. So it's like you're not expanding on the footprint, you're just literally going up over the existing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
And just do feedback, that's it,
Okay,
with the cantilever, that's it. To make it worth our while for doing the whole project anyway.
nice. Mechanicals and all that stuff, is it on a plan somewhere?
The mechanicals are zoned off the existing third floor HVAC system,
Okay.
so we have to add no condensers or anything for that. All the mechanicals are pretty much updated since put into, he put back in, I think, believe, 2008, 2011, somewhere around there, he put all the mechanicals in.
Okay. And the overall coverage, do you know if it's within the total coverage for the lot?
That I don't
It's
know.
no more than 20%,
must be.
or, think it's okay, Woody?
Yeah, it must be.
Okay. All right. So we're looking at just the hardship being an odd-shaped, undersized
Narrow
lot,
lot.
narrow lot, and working with the existing footprint.
Correct.
You guys have any other questions? Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to be heard on this application? Mike, anything else?
No.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Short and
Thank you
sweet.
for your time.
I appreciate it. You good with everything? Okay. Okay, so now we're moving on to calendar number 5-2024, the application of Pedro Camachi, Brian Tejera, and B&P Contractors on behalf of Shuyu Goy, did I say that right? Pardon me, okay. To allow the construction of a rear second-story shed dormer and a front one-story enclosed porch and foyer addition at 126 Hollow Tree Ridge Road. If you could state your name.
My
clearly.
name is Brian Teixeira, and
Brian?
my dad, Michael. Name is Pedro Camacho.
Got it. Do you have that? Did you get it? Yes. Yep. Thank you, Pedro. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the proposal is, to build up this shed dormer to, add it to give him a little bit more of, functionality. We know that the existing structure got some limitations, but our intention is more to propose this shed dormer to to give him, the area, the second floor livable area, a little bit more of a traffic, because you can hardly walk right now, and we just want to give him, more functionality on that part. And also the on front of on the application for the front porch, we just wanted to get to just cover the front porch, the existing porch. We are not exceeding that. We know there is of the setback on front, but it was built already, so we just wanted to enclosure.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, I'm trying to log in to get to see it. So could you tell us for the record what the hardship is on the property?
Let's see what we got in this. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to read it what we
Submitted?
have in
Okay.
here. As the opportunity opportunity to address the concern regarding the proposed shed dormer and the alignment with the lot with standards, our proposal is carefully, crafted, taking into consideration the unique characteristic of the of our, trapezoidal lot, which present inherent challenge, not encouraged in more regularly shaped, properties. The existing structure presents limitation in the in terms of both space of functionality. Our intention in proposing a shed dormer is not merely to enhance the existing appeal of our utility of the dwelling, but to address the challenges in manner that is sensitive to the zoning regulations and considerate of our neighbors.
So the house lacks functionality. That's what's driving the decision.
Mm-hmm.
And the hardship is the odd shape of the lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is creating the nonconformity zone.
Got it.
So the house itself is in the setback itself,
Okay.
but because of the lot itself, it seems like,
It's a lot width.
yeah, so it created that nonconformity zone, so we can't. So half of the shed dormer that we're gonna be building itself is inside the nonconformity zone, and the other half is outside the nonconformity zone.
Okay.
So that's kind of the hardship of the problem itself.
You either put up a shed dormer or you don't put up a shed dormer.
Yeah,
But it's,
pretty much.
if you're putting up one, it's, unfortunately, it's in the setback.
In the setback,
Okay?
the whole thing. But
John, you're looking at it, yeah.
Wait, so I think, so if I'm understanding correctly, the new dormer that's being built is going to be built entirely within your setbacks,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
but it's built in a zone that does not satisfy the minimum lot width.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
what
So
we're,
it's- Okay, so we're struggling with
Okay.
a non-conforming lot.
okay.
Mhm.
Well, what's odd is that with these trapezoidal shaped lots, sometimes this happens. There's a portion of the property that does meet the minimum lot width, but that's not where they're proposing all of this new volume. Part of it, yes, but part of it, no, so that's why they're in front of you. And then there's the second issue with enclosing a front porch, which is in the front setback. And normally, that's something we haven't done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we won't be messing with like making it any wider or longer. We're just gonna be working with the existing porch itself and just enclosing it.
Yeah.
Do you know the dimensions of the current
I
porch?
think it was 3 feet, 3'7", and then it was 3'9" and 5'7.5".
3'9" by 5'7.5", and what are our limitations? We're normally
They want to enclose it.
5 by,
They
yeah,
want to enclose it.
right.
5 and no more than 8, I think that's.
Why do you want to enclose it?
It's just to, same thing, to give it for
Functionality.
functionality,
safety?
because the house, is small, and you just get right into the house, and they, when they create like some kind of, like type of a mud room, just to give them, some room in that part, because you get them right into the house, and it's not space for that, so.
What do you think, Joe?
I mean, I don't know, I have a hard time figuring out what the hardship is for that. I mean, I think you guys have been here for a lot, doing this a little bit longer than I have, but we've always been pretty, cover it, stay within these dimensions, but enclose it in the setback. I have a hard time figuring out what the hardship is on that one.
Well, there's a safety issue. We like safety issues.
Right, but that's for allowing this in the setback at all, but not
Yeah.
enclosing it.
Mhm.
And that's been our policy.
The shed dormer in the back, sorry to jump around, but the shed dormer in the back, is there already some sort of dormer there, or is this
No.
entirely new, it's just regular roof line there?
Regular roof line. So the front has the doghouse, the 2 doghouses.
Okay.
And the plan here, it shows that there is an existing two house,
2 dog house in the back.
yeah, in the back, but it's not like that. There's only the roof line itself.
That was an error in the drawing.
Yeah, we figured that out last night.
I guess I want to go back to what we're approving. Okay, so you're asking us to approve a shed dormer that is in the setback on a non-conforming lot.
Yes.
Okay, that one I have less of an issue with. Enclosing the front porch, that's entirely within the setback.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Fortunately, it is, yeah.
Matt, what do you think?
No questions from here, no.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good?
I mean, I know we said it's a narrow lot. Do you guys know how narrow the lot is? Like, what is the width?
The acre of the lot itself is .17, so, but narrow, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
It's on the survey here, it's,
What is it, then? That's it.
gotta do math.
80-foot lot width toward the road. Riverside is narrow.
Existing frontage says 94 feet.
What's it supposed to be? 100?
I don't know, this says minimum frontage 50, sorry, minimum width is 80, existing is 69. So that's the,
That should be 69 in lieu of 80 for the lot width where that volume is proposed.
And the front porch now is
yeah, I don't,
covered?
this says 200, that's the 200,
Yeah.
this says 200 feet, right?
It doesn't narrow where it's fixed. Yeah, it should be 69 in lieu of 80.
Typically, we don't approve enclosing porches in the setback. So that's a risk for you. If you wanted to reconsider the plans and come back to us, I mean, if we don't all approve it, we could approve part of the project, not the whole thing.
Okay.
Any suggestions from you?
I mean, I think we go deliberations, but it seems
Yeah.
like that's where it's headed, approving part and rejecting the inclusion.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
okay.
Excuse me, can I
Yes,
just chime
please.
in? Sorry, I want to,
State your name for the record, please.
my name is Shu Yu Guo, and I am the owner of 126 Hollow Tree Ridge Road. So basically, I prepared the answers, and then I feel like it's better for me to present
Sure.
the reason why I feel like the porch become a hardship. So basically, the existing porch is already covered, while I think the biggest concern is it lacks the necessary protection and insulation to be effectively utilized throughout the year. And then by enclosing the porch, our goal is to create a space that is not only more energy efficient, but also more adaptable to the diverse weather protection. And then also the approach also allows to better utilize the existing footprint of the property without expanding into the setback space unnecessarily, because it's already there, the foundation, and then also the footprint is already there. And then furthermore, we really respect the zoning regulations, so that's why when we consider about the design, we want to ensure the design and the materials used in the renovation are in harmony with the community's architectural standard, and then also we want to contribute positively to the streetscape. So that's like basically the main reason we would like to enclose the front porch. And then also in the architectural plan, we also kind of like leave side windows in the design. So we want to keep the open and the welcoming feeling of a traditional porch, and then while providing the added benefits of insulation and the weather protection. So that's how I would consider this as a hardship. But we absolutely respect the zoning board and the appeals practice regarding front porch proposal. However, I just believe that this project presents a unique set of circumstances and then that justify a thoughtful reconsideration of these guidelines. And then I read the question from the staff before. It says if the board would approve a 5x8 open porch, would I reconsider the plan? I don't think it's necessary because my goal is never to increase the footprint. We don't want to increase the footprint. We don't want to add additional square footage. We just want to better utilize, the space. And then also we just want to enhance the use of the space. That's the whole purpose for us to enclose the porch.
Looks like there's a shed on the property.
Yeah,
Is that?
it's a portable one.
It's a portable shed,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a portable one.
So that also looks like it's fairly close to the property line.
Yeah, but we can completely just relocate that or omit that. That's for sure. There's
Okay.
no issue with that.
Sometimes what we do is if we're willing to grant an exception to something, a variance, we ask that you come in more into compliance on something else.
Totally.
That's something that you would consider that.
Yeah,
Making sure-
totally,
Okay.
totally.
And so, what is the purpose of the second-story shed dormer? Why do you need it, in your own words?
A long answer here. So basically, it's the same thing as I mentioned above. Our purpose is not merely focused on the aesthetic, a pleasing exterior look. It's a more for functionality, and then also, I would say, space, the usage of space and functionality. So basically, we acknowledge that the proposed dormer extends into the narrow rear portion of the lot, which at first glance might seem to contravene the spirit of the lot width standard. However, it is precisely this irregular lot shape that constitutes the hardship necessitating the variance. The proposed dormer has been meticulously designed to occupy the buildable area of the lot. As highlighted in the survey, you can see with a significant portion of its volume is already situated within the wider and the conforming front part of the lot. So it's just a part of the shed dormer, it's outside of, in the
You said
narrow.
it makes your property more functional. How does it make it more functional?
So by adding, so I would say like by adding a shed dormer, we're not only improving the livability of the home, we're adding a bathroom. We're also basically open up the space of both bedrooms, because right now both bedrooms are like really tiny.
Just quickly, how many bathrooms do you currently have?
Only one.
You have one bathroom
Yeah.
now? And how many total square feet is the house, roughly, do you
I
know?
think it was 2,200.
It's 2,200?
Yeah, including basement is 22.
Including basement?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else, guys? Any questions for them?
Does this add a bedroom, or does this just make the bedrooms that are up there bigger?
It's just make it bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, because the way it is right now, it's a little hard to, like to go
Yeah,
out.
the
because
pitch of the roof.
Yeah.
The walkway area is right to the roof, so it's, you can't, walk like.
It's a cave.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And then also another reason why I want to add the shed dormer in the back is because I really love the Cape Cod style. I don't want to change the front, and I want to make sure my house match the streetscape with my neighbor's house. So that's the whole purpose. Yeah.
Okay.
Did any of your neighbors express concerns or support for the project?
I actually have close communication with my neighbor, 122. We text, we exchange message, and then she actually is really excited about this project.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also I heard from the previous tenant, and she told me my neighbors are really excited. I bought the house because she is a single mom. She didn't really get the energy to take care of the yard, and then now finally someone can
Improve the home?
improve it. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to be heard on this application?
The neighbors on the other side.
Could you come up?
Walmsley Road. I'd rather sit here.
You can't,
We can't hear you then. Yeah, we
I can't
unfortunately.
barely hear you guys.
Oh.
Come forward then,
Best
please.
With a hearing aid is-
Yeah, please,
Okay.
come forward.
I'll speak a little bit louder.
I just need it on
Okay.
Do you
recording.
need someone's
No, we can't do
mother or
that.
father trying to
Pardon me?
shovel the
Yeah.
snow during the
Pardon me?
winter?
Ma'am, I'm sorry,
can't
we
do
have
that.
to have it on the record. I understand the hardship,
I
but,
just got over the flu.
That's okay,
so I'm
but you
a
can't-
little bit hoarse.
okay, that's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Felicia Marashulo Graham. My husband and I.
Excuse me?
Felicia, you gotta come
You
to the
need to-
microphone so that we can pick it up and it's on the record. Thank you.
And you need to address the board
Yeah.
instead of the applicant.
This used to be an
It's the
old
way it is.
study hall for me when I went through
Yeah.
Mather Junior High.
Please
I
state
grew
your
up
name,
in town.
Felicia, for the record.
My name is Felicia Marashulo Graham, and this is my husband, Hampton D. Graham Jr. We've owned the house at 43 Walmsley for 42 years. It's a lovely neighborhood. and we shovel our sidewalks.
Yeah.
And did I meet someone shoveling sidewalks this winter? Whose parents did I
Again,
meet?
could you just address the board?
Yeah, I was just wondering, did I meet one of you?
I
And I'm
think-
being
I
rude
think
and I
so.
didn't acknowledge it?
No, that's okay. Just,
Okay.
if you could just address us and give us your either
Okay.
concern or
So we're
support.
concerned because we've owned the house for a long time. And there's been really no repair or adding on to that house since there was an accident where a car went through the bedroom, which was unfortunate. And so we were concerned about these plans. We did meet someone's parents on the sidewalk, but no one reached out to us because they could not, didn't speak English very
So
well.
my mom, probably my parents, yeah.
Okay. So that's why we came in person.
Okay, that's great.
Okay?
So there's really two or three things. One is, the fact about the shed dormer doesn't really bother us that much. Don't really see the need for the front porch enclosure. It's your all's call on that, but it's out of character with the neighborhood. If you look at all the capes around that area, I don't think any others have an enclosed front porch. They have covered, porch, but I don't think any of them have an enclosed.
And I think ours was the original. We have not taken the bench away.
Yeah. So, I don't know where you address issues like all the construction noise and timing and all that stuff. I don't know, is that someplace else, or is that at this meeting?
That's just part of, if it gets approved, then that's just part of the project.
Okay.
It'll have to go through planning and zoning.
Okay, all right, just
Approvals.
wanted to find out, because that's
Yeah.
probably the biggest concern, because it's very close to our house.
And as you know, the town put in an adjunct piece of land on that corner that we maintain because someone had passed away in crossing the street many years ago. And I think.
Yeah, he was on the building committee with me, it's really sad.
Yeah, and I think the Board of Ed had put in everyone's mailboxes on Walmsley at one point, like, stop it with this construction and get the cars or trucks off the road, because it was very dangerous with the bus coming up. So we're concerned about where's all your construction vehicles
So I
going to
think
go.
that's a separate planning and zoning issue.
I guess, okay.
Fine. All right, well, anyway, so, just want to let you know that the shed dormer, okay, I'm not wild about the enclosing the front porch.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Good
much.
name.
Yes.
What was it?
Any other comments?
So here is the thing, we think enclose a porch is a better have, it's not a must have.
Okay.
So if, well, obviously, we're willing to cooperate with the zoning board, and then also we're willing to consider our neighbors' comments. But if it's something that we cannot enclose, we're willing to,
Forego that part of the project?
yeah, compromise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need them to submit a new application to do that, Woody, or can we?
Well, I gather you just leave it as is then.
Yeah.
You have to submit an alternative plan if you wanted to do something else.
Okay. Okay. That helps us. Thank you for being flexible.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else who wishes to be heard on this application? Good? Good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right, we're on to our final calendar number 7-2024, the application of Nick DeMeo on behalf of 9 Shady Acres to allow the construction of a replacement 2-story dwelling. Hi, Nick.
How's everybody?
Good, thanks.
Can you state your name for the record, please?
Into the microphone, please.
Nick DeMeo. I'm the architect on the project. So I will just give a brief overview. So the proposed project consists of demolishing the existing dwelling, and we will be replacing that dwelling with a new home in the same general location. On this map here, I know it's a bit hard to see, but in gray, in a thicker line, is where the current residence is, and we have our new proposed hatched in here. So there's a pool house and a main house. So we're kind of in that same general location. So our request is to construct a new residence on a portion of the lot, having a minimum width less than the distance specified for the zone in which it is located, specifically 176.16 feet in lieu of 200. So Under current R2 zoning, the lot has increased in lot width and depth requirements from 150 to 200 feet. So that puts the current home, as it stands in its current location, in violation. So this has been a long-standing, non-conforming situation. Aside from that, we also have wetlands on the property and their associated upland review areas. So back here, I know, sorry, it's hard to see here, but I'll kind of just go over it. This area all in here is wetlands and the upland review area. We also have wetlands, there's wetlands on this property here, and the review area comes on our property. So this next shoot is only it's a kind of a more zoom in, but I have that buffer area here, so it's kind of creating a bit of a pinch point at this location. So by the time you get past the pinch point, you're pretty restricted in what you could do with this area of the wetlands. So we also want to address the area of the current house and the water table in that area, why we want to keep it where the current house is.
Yeah, we're.
Could you please state your name for the record?
Robert Smarslak, professional engineer at Soundview Engineers. We did the site plan and design of the hydrology. We tried to keep, there's an existing crawl space in the basement, in the existing house, where we tried to keep the new basement near that elevation so that we're not drawing more water. So that helped us in the amount of, putting the correct amount of fill around the house and setting all the elevations. So we pretty much worked with what we had as far as the water table goes. So I think the house fits very well where it is and in relationship to the off-site wetland and the on-site wetland. So that's why we have, that's part of the reason why we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're working with the existing foundation, you're squeezed by wetlands on either side.
Well, it's new foundation.
New foundation,
New.
but in the same location.
Same
as
general
the house.
location.
Because what we found was in that crawl space, it had no signs of ever having any water damage or anything like that. And all the test holes that we dug around the site, filled up with water pretty quickly, and we couldn't go down very far. So we thought that our clients really wanted to have a basement or some form of a basement. So we thought the best chances of giving them a dry basement would be in pretty much the location of the existing house, being that it's that current crawl space has proven, to have been dry, all these years that the house has been there since the 50s. So
Is your elevation of the new basement the same as what the elevation of the crawl space that you're talking about?
we're proposing to go.
It's close. It's very close.
We're proposing to go down one more foot because of the height limitations that we're up against. So being that, with the existing grade, if we bring in fill, which we're going to be doing, we're only allowed 1 foot from the existing average grade to base our heights off of. So in order to kind of make the roof lines work and give the clients the floor to ceiling heights they wanted, we had to go down 1 extra foot, and we all felt confident that, with what we found, we would still be dry in that location. So
it's still crawl, but it's an additional
it's
foot to
partially
support.
partially crawl, partially basement now.
Okay.
But it is 1 foot additional depth than the current bottom elevation of the current crawl space in the house that we're demolishing.
Is there any portion of the new house that's within the setback?
The lot width setback?
Yes.
The lot width setback is here. So we have just the pool and patio area. inside the current lot itself. The
Well,
whole
the
house is-
entire house is inside the lot width, except for the pool. The pool is at the 200 feet or better, right?
Okay,
Correct, yeah.
okay.
But that's different than the side and rear yard
Right.
setbacks.
Yeah, we're
I
conforming
think
on
you're
all the
all
setbacks.
within
Yeah,
all of those.
Okay, okay. My biggest concern with this is the water situation on this property. You've got neighbors on either side that are concerned about that. We have someone that went on the record saying they're concerned about water runoff. Did you guys do a survey?
We did a 92-page drainage report. It's already
Okay.
been revised once.
Good.
And we think we addressed every concern.
Okay, and you're gonna submit that to planning and zoning?
It's already in.
It's in.
It has been submitted, yes.
So, I guess, which is probably good for the record, what additional item, look, 92 pages, we don't need to go over the whole thing, but obviously it sounds like there's a lot of
It
additional
conforms to exactly
drainage,
what Darien requires for all the storm events.
which
And
is a lot better than what's there right now?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think
How
over,
so? Just-
when we looked at this over time, there's, I think it's 3 properties from Marianne to Shady Acres. There's 3 properties that have been developed like maybe in the last 20 years that have aggravated that pocket. And I don't think that's gonna be us because of the way we did this. We have a ton of storage underground and it's,
Sorry, just articulate that a little bit better for us. How what you're going to construct will create a better
It will.
outcome for the neighborhood in terms of flooding and water runoff
will.
than what's there now. Articulate how. Like what are you doing?
well, for instance, right now, these buildings are, I believe they're 30 years old. They're
The
about
current
30
homes?
The current building, 2 buildings,
Oh, yeah.
about 30 years old, and
The pool house,
Probably.
I think, is newer.
half of that water is directed towards that watershed, towards that wetland, right? So,
Meaning the topography of the land
yeah, it's
sends
all
it down
directed.
there, right?
So
Okay.
there's 3 watersheds on our lot, and
Uh-huh.
one of the watersheds directs water to that wetland, right?
Okay.
So in the development, the amount of water that's going there is less. It's just less volume, less peak flow situations.
But how? Because you're adjusting the
We're- yeah,
topography,
we're-
or what are you doing?
We're
Or-
storing the water.
So you putting underground water
Cold
source?
tech
Significant,
tanks?
Concrete,
Okay.
3 foot high. There's, I forget the number, we revised it by,
Excuse me, do
Quite
you
a bit.
have your site engineering plan?
yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Maybe just quickly point out the features.
Because it is accurate that you're expanding the non-permeable areas on the property by adding a bigger house, right?
Yes.
So we can just articulate a little bit some of the highlights as to how that is not
Yeah,
gonna make
so
it worse.
storage, there's 2 major storage areas.
Mhm.
For the watershed that's going in that direction, there's a big system here.
Mhm.
These are 3 feet deep, 8 feet long by 4 feet wide. And there's 20 of those right there. And then over here is for that same watershed, these are plastic units, these are Coltex because they're not in the driveway. There's a dozen plastic units that are fairly large too. So you have all this storage for that watershed where the concern is. So the flows are, in volume is way less.
So currently, the plans have been submitted to planning and zoning, but they have
They've
not?
been reviewed by peer review,
Okay,
and we have already revised and gotten back to peer review, and they're reviewing it again as of last week.
okay.
That's right, the existing pool house is staying as is?
No, it's being demolished
Oh, it's
as
being
well.
demolished.
Yeah, both structures on the lot are being demolished.
what's the net increase of square foot coverage? Like, just how many more square feet of
Impermeable.
impervious?
I guess if any, I
If
didn't
any,
realize
or is
the
it
pool
the
house is
same?
coming out.
Oh, no, it's higher, it's definitely higher, but we're providing tremendous amount of storage.
Do you have the coverage numbers of
I
existing and
couldn't tell
proposed?
you.
I have actually.
Might be on the survey.
Yeah, I have them on this survey.
Probably.
Let me see. So the existing is 5,219 square feet of coverage. and the proposed is 5,731 square feet.
So
So we're not-
600 square feet more? Did I hear
Yeah,
that
so
right?
I think, you know,
500?
Yeah.
yeah, the current like the main residence wasn't that large, but the other building had a pool, I mean, it was an indoor pool, so it was quite large. So I think the coverage between those two structures is actually higher than it appears to be. We're sort of making use of the existing driveway and curb cut, so the driveway is basically going to remain the same, curb cut location the same. We're just gonna make it a little bit wider and obviously make it conform to our house at the end here.
Have the neighbors been provided the plan for the water flooding remediation stuff, do you know?
The neighbors have all been
They've been notified.
notified, and they have access to all the drawings on the portal, I believe.
I mean, for whatever it's worth, I think it would be wise for your clients to communicate this with specificity, not just, here are the drawings, here are the portals, all that stuff you're doing to make their lives better, not worse, just
Yeah.
help from a neighborly
We're
relation.
increasing coverage by 500 square feet, but we're adding two humongous
Retention
underground
systems,
retention
yeah.
tanks. That's kind of a
Yeah. For whatever it's
important
worth.
for.
There's actually another one, in the
There's
front
one at the
property as
back.
well.
Yeah, what's the one at the back there?
That's
The long,
septic.
skinny one.
Oh, that's the
that's
septic.
septic.
That's the
Okay,
best
got
area
it.
for septic.
I got it. Yeah, okay.
So speaking of that, let me just ask why not shove the whole house and all development farther back on the lot where it meets the minimum width?
The wetlands.
Well, the wetlands.
And I think their point is, even if they could keep it out of the wetlands, the water table is probably higher
It's
there.
much higher right there, so
Right.
it's very, very low.
And
They'd
Woody-
lose their basement.
Yeah, right. And Woody, I think even if they could do that, they'd still be here for variance because they're building on an undersized lot anyway, even if they're in a 200-foot
We
area.
wouldn't worry about the lot size, but the width, yes.
Right, yeah. Okay.
The only other question I heard, I think, Nick, you said that there's fill coming in,
Correct.
a lot of fill. What, if you're basically maintaining pretty close to the existing bottom elevation, if you're going a little deeper, that means fill's going out. Where's all the new fill going?
In the front.
In the
The
front?
front. The back is already high. The front gets filled.
So the lot's also getting, I guess,
It's being
leveled off.
to keep those units above the seasonal work table.
Okay.
Matt, you got anything?
Nope.
Kevin, you good?
Nope. Yes, I am. That's right.
Okay. Woody, do you have any other comments from staff? No? John? Is there anybody from the audience that wishes to be heard on this application? You all set, Nick?
Yeah.
Good. Bob? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so that concludes our hearings for this evening. We're going to move into deliberations and decisions, and we'll just go, I guess, in the order of what was presented, starting with the firehouse on the Post Road with Mike Feedy. John, you got anything?
No, look, I think certainly some lot size issues there. You know, minimum adjustment going right above the existing foundation. You know, I think it's great for the fire department, and I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Yeah, same thing, they're going straight up, not adding to the existing footprint, it's in a commercial zone, yeah.
And we meet the setbacks for the commercial zone, Woody. That's not an issue.
Well, it actually is
Well,
here.
that's
Yeah,
the,
on the side.
Oh, that's what you're saying,
Because
that's
of
the
the
issue,
size.
okay.
Existing structures there.
Yeah.
so.
Okay. Kevin?
You know, it's a 1/3 zone, and this is testimony, and I'm sure it's in the record, the exact size is a lot less than that. The width is quite narrow, even though it's a long lot, it's still narrow. So it seems to me that's unusual for the neighborhood, which creates a hardship in properly using the house, and it seems to me adding just a little extra room for a bedroom is minimal adjustment, and it's fine with me.
I like it. I like goodwill for the community. All right, does anyone want to make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Woody, that's 4-0. Congratulations, Mike, if you're listening. You can go build your little bedroom. All right. Next, we'll be reviewing calendar number 5-2024, Shuyugoi, for the addition of both the dormer and the front porch enclosure. Why don't you start?
Sure, so again, I think there is a hardship in that it's a quite narrow lot, and its acreage is .17, which is undersized, and even for this neighborhood is unusual. The request to add an additional bathroom, I think going from 1 bathroom to 2 is minimal and reasonable for folks to enjoy the substantial justice in the use of their land. I think 2 bathrooms is a reasonable expectation. The house is currently 2,200 square feet, which includes the basement. So this, the addition of the second-story shed dormer to give them that extra bathroom and a little more room in a bedroom that's a total house size of 2,200 square feet, including basement, is reasonable. So I think we should approve that. But I don't think we should violate our longstanding policy to allow the enclosure of the porch. There was not substantial evidence provided as to why that would create any ability to not truly enjoy the use of the property. So I would suggest that we don't approve the latter part of it, but we approve the former part.
Okay. Matt?
I completely agree. I mean, I honestly, like, I think I would be okay with the enclosed porch, but at the same time, that sets the precedent that anytime somebody comes in, now we have to approve enclosed porches now too. So there wasn't a hardship that was demonstrated about why this was special in that case. So, yeah, I'd be fine keeping our existing plans, no enclosed porch.
Okay, so first part, John?
Same thing.
Same thing?
Yeah, I mean, and the immediate adjacent neighbor is, said they're fine with the dormer,
Yeah, we always give respect to the neighbors, and
Yeah.
I like that.
The porch, I don't.
If the
I'm
porch
not-
weren't
I'm not-
enclosed, I'd probably, weren't covered, I'd probably say that would be a good use,
Yeah,
but
you
it
could
is.
cover it, but yeah, I don't,
Okay.
not good on
No, I feel the same way. I feel like, yeah, we should, I'll approve the dormer, but not the front porch enclosure. All right?
And just
we want-
to be
Yeah,
clear,
no.
with the front porch enclosure, are they doing work on it if they can't enclose it? Like, are they fixing that up, or are they changing that anyway, or?
No, my understanding is it
expanding
remains
it?
exactly the same.
That's already, it's already
Right, Woody?
5x8 as is, no changes.
I
Well,
think it's actually
It's 3.9
smaller.
by 5.7.
Yeah, I forget
Right,
the number,
so-
3 by something, but.
So I would be in favor of saying if you want to make it safer, because that was mentioned as a concern, you can make it 5x8, which is our standard policy, but it can't be enclosed.
But they'd have to come with a new
Problem is we don't have
application.
a plan for that,
Mhm.
but they could have submitted one, and maybe it would approve it as an open 5x8 or whatever. But in
Good
this
point. You
case,
could
they
come
could
back.
always repair what they have, so if they want to fix the posts or the roof of what they have, it's just in this case, the enclosure is what puts them before you.
Is that standard enough, though, that we can say that they're allowed to do that, or? Because the proposal is for a 5x8 enclosed, right?
No.
It's not.
No, they just want to take
Just
what's
existing.
there,
Oh, okay,
enclose
sorry.
it, which is 3 by whatever, 6 or something like that.
3.9 by 5.7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if they did want to come and expand the porch, keeping it open to the 5x8, we would most likely approve that, but that's not what they've asked.
Okay.
So, okay. We're all in agreement, Woody, that with the modification, so do you want to, anyone make a motion? Do you want to make the motion? for-
Sure, I make a motion that we approve the variance request in part and deny in part. The portion that we approve is the request for the second-story shed dormer, and the part that we deny is the front one-story enclosed porch addition. And I make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye, that's 4-0, Woody, for the dormer approval denial of the porch. enclosure. Great, okay, we're on a roll. Last application, Nick DeMayo for 9 Shady Acres for the new structure. Matt, I'll start with you.
I think, given the lot topography, the wetlands, the nearness, they have a hardship in building a new structure there. They're keeping it in the similar place as the existing structure, which is a reasonable location for it. And the only concern I had was with the drainage, but it seems like they're putting in a lot of Coltex and storage that will offset, and then some, the additional square footage that they're adding, which in itself isn't that much. So I'm in favor of this proposal as is.
Yeah, John, I think you have a good grip on the drainage. You think it's, I mean, a
Yeah, I
93-page
just,
report.
look, I happen to know, I think 3 of the people that are abutters in this scenario, and I know at least 2 of them have no idea how to go onto this website and find these
Yeah,
drawings that show.
that was a good point.
Right, so I'm sure everybody is very, and I know one of the neighbors wrote a letter, is very concerned, but there is a significant amount of underground storage going in here. That is not there right now. It's 500 square feet more coverage, and then adding all that underground, there's a definitive hardship with the lot width. They're pretty, they're pretty far back there. They're touching, kissing some of these review lines. I guess maybe it could, it's not excessively bigger than what's there. So I think it's.
I don't really see where else they'd put it. I mean, I think you are kind of sandwiched in there with the wetlands. Right, even if they took the pool out. I mean, that's the other thing we sometimes talk about, do you need a pool? But I don't have a problem with this plan at all. I just think, it's not really under us to assess the engineering report for the water and drainage, but it sounds like they, we would stipulate, of course, that this gets approved by planning and zoning.
It's 2 acres too, with like under an acre of usable space. So it's kind of hard to.
That's a good
I'd
point.
really encourage them to just mark this up on like a little one-pager and just
Show
put
them
it to
in-
the same addresses as all the abutters. We got a couple letters about this, but just here, this is what reality is. It might go a long way for some of these folks on these roads.
All that storage will make a big difference.
What's that?
All that storage will make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kevin?
Yeah, I guess I'll just reiterate what you all said, right? The lot itself has been non-conforming since the current version of the zoning code and maps were adopted, so you can't build anything there without a variance. That coupled with the fact that the wetlands and the wetland review area probably takes up 40% of the lot.
Yeah.
Is clearly, it seems to me, a hardship. So then is this the minimum adjustment necessary? And when you balance that, what they're building and that they're taking down an entire building and they're doing considerable and no doubt expensive work to improve the drainage from the lot, when you take that together, I think it's a very good trade for the community and for our town, and we should encourage people to be doing developments that in an ever-changing environment help protect their homeowners by doing things like this. I think for that reason, it seems to me it's in the best interest of the town and is a minimal adjustment necessary, so I'm fine.
Well said. I love when
He
Kevin
always
talks.
does that.
Oh my God. Why don't we just start with him?
The other question I wish I asked, I wonder if all the storm plans is anything over and above what would have been the minimal required? Because it seems like it is, I don't have any.
What, the drainage?
Yeah, right, like, I don't know, I should ask that question, but I've been curious the answer. But
I don't know, but
Well, it's still a-
typically they get right up to the requirement and maybe a little.
Yeah,
But it's economics in some sense, but we don't know for sure. We know it's at least the minimum because they can't build a permit without
Without that,
meeting the
yeah.
minimum.
It's gotta be better than what they have now though, right? Which-
Oh, yeah.
that
Yeah.
existing site, which is probably nothing.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, someone said this point earlier, but, I mean, their front yard setback is probably, I don't know, 200 feet, 100-plus feet, like, well in excess of what's required. So they are building in a location further back and closer to the lot width we would desire than they need to necessarily.
They're shoring up the foundation. I think they're doing everything right. I'm good with it. All right. Someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Matt, I'll second it this time. All in favor? Aye, that's 4-0, Woody. Great. So let's quickly move to other business. The election of officers, Woody, we can't do that tonight, can we, without,
Well, just you three guys, but,
how does this work? Do you want me to propose a new slate?
well, I don't know, you might want to talk it over, but
Okay.
we've been carrying it for a long time. Typically, we used to do this in June, but last couple of years, we've been carrying it later and later into the year.
Well, can I ask the key question is, what does Jeff want to do?
I don't know.
He's moving on.
Is he for sure?
Jeff would like it if I took over and you took co-chairs.
Well, I'm fine with
second
you
vice
taking
chair.
over, so.
Unless you want to take over, I'd be fine with that too. Okay, but, I mean, he's kind of been grooming me to step into this so he can phase out. I think he's going to move.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's the word.
Well, you three guys then could do a motion to,
I'll motion to elect Chair Barb.
Okay?
I second Chair Barb.
All in favor? Thanks, guys. Okay, great, okay.
And
And
then-
then a second for Kevin to be the vice chair. Kevin, you good with that?
Yes, I get it.
I'd like to make a motion for Kevin Bullington to be the
I'll
vice
second
chair.
that.
Second that, okay?
wait a
All in
minute,
favor?
Who seconded that? Must have been Matt.
Okay. All right, Matt seconded it.
Okay.
Well, that's good, thank you.
That's great. Okay, then the ZBA, the Giovanni's Water Edge project. I don't know if you guys know the history on this. So this
Ooh,
is,
long story, but
Yeah.
I did copy for you in front of you.
Yes.
Some draft of some 3 or 4 item statement about this.
perfect, okay.
And I think you all know the long background of it, so
Yeah.
no need to, I guess, reiterate all that.
Yeah, so the situation is this has been a long-standing battle. I think Giovanni's was subject to state mandate. It slowed the project down. In essence, they shortened the island from the 30-foot that we approved to 20 feet. And we'd made certain requests for plantings at certain heights, and there were safety requirements. It was a bit at a standstill, and we assembled a special committee. It was Gary, Jana, and then I got involved at the last minute. Long story short, they have made some accommodations, and I like what I see there. I think it's not exactly what we asked, but it's closer. So I would suggest a motion tonight to approve the amended site improvement project plans with the 20-foot shorter road edge island and sidewalk versus the original approved 30-foot. Second issue is improve the installation and required maintenance of the evergreen screening. It's in already, so what we're asking them to do is to maintain that. That's standard.
Accepting that, but have it part of the obligations to maintain their landscape in the future.
Yes.
With that hedge.
Okay, so we would require them to maintain what's there, and they cannot go over 3 feet for safety reasons in terms of the height limitation. Authorize the ZEO to the signing of a permanent certificate of occupancy. And then finally, authorize the town to release the $25,000 project performance bond. So I'd like to make a motion tonight to go ahead with those 4 things.
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
So, in exchange for the 20-foot island, instead of, was it 30?
It was 30 was what the plans
It's
approved.
20 feet shorter than it was supposed
So
to
it was supposed to be 40 feet?
Actually, it was supposed to be, it's about 32. It was actually supposed to be like 52 feet long, so
Okay,
without
so it's
getting caught up in
32.
the numbers.
Okay, but it's like the 30 to 50.
They reduced it in size, partly because they claimed the state took over the bridge project and all the work out front, and the state just built whatever they wanted.
And didn't we get some confirmation that the state did want it to be smaller for turnaround purposes or something?
We actually looked into, could we force them to build it as it was supposed to be?
Mhm.
And what came back eventually was the DOT maintenance prefers
Okay.
the wider opening
Right.
on the one side.
For the
Supposedly for their
turnaround of-
truck operations.
Right.
At the town.
Okay, so there is some
So-
state
Yes.
issue
Some
there.
state
But,
development.
so there is some public policy reason to allow the smaller one, but it would be in conflict with what we had previously approved. So am I understanding that what we're getting in exchange is that they're going to install, is that what this is, the evergreen screening hedge?
They
That's what's new?
have, they've already
But
done
is that,
that.
was that what's new?
Correct.
Okay. So that's what we kind of said, got out of them in
As
exchange for
a
this.
committee, we got down to, well, then let's get some trees or something that would really beef up the screening, because we're accepting this big opening
Right.
that was supposed to be smaller.
Right.
And then what got back was, well, trees would actually create some sightline challenge
Mhm.
for approaching vehicles from Stamford on the curve and all that. So what came back was shrubs, sure,
No
but
higher
no
than
more than
36, yeah.
4 feet, I think it was.
Okay.
And if we approve this, is or would there be any consequence if a year from now, whatever they plant dies and they don't replant it and they don't maintain it, what would our recourse be?
To tell them they have to fix it, it would be a notice
Can
of
we issue
violation.
violations?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why we want to have
Okay.
essentially a motion that includes it as
Okay.
a specific part of our agreement
Got
to
it, okay.
modify the project.
But
Small
the committee
piece.
of members who were on this support that and think this is a fair resolution?
So I have support letters from Gary Green and Jana Romine supporting this conclusion.
Okay.
I was gonna see if there's a picture I can show you guys. Did you guys go see it? Anybody seen the plantings?
I think Woody sent some pictures earlier.
Yeah,
today.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw
It
them.
looks nice. I mean, it's a compromise. It's not exactly what we had originally in the plans, but it's, I think
And
it's a
they're
good compromise.
relatively small now, but they'll develop, and it's a
Mhm.
nice thick boxwood plant, so,
Well, to Woody's credit, he got
Oh,
growing
I see it.
concern from
No,
town
I see it.
locally to come in and give them a,
yeah. What was there
A nice rate.
before, and what they had designed, was really low junipers that were barely even visible.
yeah.
So
Okay, yeah,
what you
that's nice.
saw
Okay.
was parking and pavement, and what now you see is this line of essentially a small hedge that'll
Boxwoods.
develop.
Yeah.
And it'll help them too. In the long run, we're hoping they're gonna take it over, be happy,
Mhm.
plant some additional flowers or grasses or who knows what.
Mm-hmm.
And
No, he plans to do some perennials and some annuals on top of what's there,
to
but,
to fill this out, there was some back and forth with town council on, hey, the board committee would like you to do something to improve the screening. No, we're not gonna do it. Finally, okay, we'll plant 2 little boxwoods. Okay, we'll plant something else. And then it was back and forth, and then Barb jumped in and I guess basically said, hey, look, plant it right, do it right. And they did.
well, Woody came up with a solution for them. I think this is a great compromise. Sal was very accommodating when it finally came down to it. So as long as he maintains that and there's no safety issue, you guys good with it if,
The other part of the project, the canopy is fine. We went through a whole lot of effort years ago to make sure the lighting was improved. They didn't have ugly glaring lights all over the place, including in the canopy. They have very detailed, they can color it if you like pink for your wedding, or yellow. It's pretty amazing how they have
it
this.
turned out really nice.
It really came out nice. And this whole thing isn't much safer in the front. They used to have parking in the front. That was eliminated, partly because the state mandated we don't want parking in our right-of-way land. So it's an improved entrance, even for their limousines. We made sure they had an outer drop-off space that was adequate when they have big events. A car can be in the canopy, and 2 more can be in the outer drop-off. And there's a little walk. It was well-designed, and we even had a traffic engineer that helped us look at the.
Woody, it's been
So everything's
years.
done.
Yeah.
And was done, except for this island problem. And now we think it's as good as we can get it.
So Gary sent an email that said, given all the facts, the state role in the project, et cetera, I think that Giovanni's has met their burden. I suggest that the ZBA instruct the staff to issue the CO and release the performance bond. So I'll make a
So I made a
motion.
motion. You
I'll-
read the 4 draft items?
Yep, I'll make a motion to, do you have those 4 items
Yep.
captured? Okay, I'll make a motion to support these 4 drafted items.
I'll second it.
Matt will second. All in favor? Unanimous. Congratulations, Sal, if you're listening. All right.
Thank you much.
And then, let's see, what else we got going on? Approval of the minutes from February 21st.
Yeah, we had Barb, Matt.
I read them, but I
Just
can't
Barbara Matt.
remember, so I'll make a motion to approve them.
I'll second.
Matt,
Yeah.
Matt will second. All in favor?
Just the 2 of us.
The approval of February 21st meetings. And then the proposed policy practice of correcting violations and encroachments. Is this something quick that we can do, Woody? Is this?
No, long story, but we should probably do some preliminary discussion of it,
Okay,
maybe for next month or the month after.
okay.
It comes up regularly, like tonight it happened to be a little shed,
Mm-hmm.
which they said they're gonna fix, but we probably ought to have
Meaning we're not supposed to approve anything if they have something that's in violation?
well, at least have a practice that we can
Yeah.
explain to people. You got a fence in the right of way, it's crowding the public streetscape,
Oh,
whatever it
this
is.
is back to the
That
public.
kind
Did
of
we
stuff.
add moving that door, that shed over to,
Oh, that's a good point. We wanted to
They-
stipulate that they move
They
the.
volunteered to do it,
Yeah,
they
but do we
said
want
it
to
was
capture
portable,
that?
right?
yeah,
That's a good point.
it's very modest,
Okay,
barely see it. So anyway, that's something we could talk for next time.
okay.
Consideration of annual dinner, I'll send around.
Yeah, let's try that
Suggestions.
again at the Goose. I like
I
that,
got
but
caught up, Jeff
I'll
had
book it.
some challenges, but
It's fun to
Then we have
drink
another
on,
business
on
thing.
Woody, yes,
we'd like to
okay.
add another business thing on the last page. yeah.
Can I mention on 6, or is
Yeah,
skipping 6?
go.
Just, it's a little frustrating, like, for example, the first couple of applications today, where folks, for whatever the reason is, don't actually submit documents that articulate a hardship in a way that's meaningful and compliant with state law.
Mm.
You know, like, and amongst the reasons I do it is, I think it would be better if we had, as part of our application, at the item K, had more specific things that they had to write. Like it says, you know, instead of just being vague, like, how is your property unusual for the neighborhood? What is, tell us what the, like it says hardship, what is it? And how does this not allow you this, you know, the ability to use your property properly? Whatever it is, so that folks are thinking about that and have in their head how to articulate it, so we don't have to try to drag it out of them and out of the record, so it's just something to think
Maybe what we
about.
can do next month is we can bring in what we have in the application as, hey, here's what you should include in item K, and see how you feel about that. And then maybe we can be a little more deliberate about, when I meet with all the applicants, tell them they gotta have this down. And
I don't think
Don't
they're,
expect
they're
the
clear
board
on
to
what a
draw it
hardship
out.
is.
Yeah,
You
they
hear them
don't.
say
They're
like,
not,
it's a
yeah.
financial hardship, it'll look better, those are
Right,
not
I know.
hardships.
We should have in the application, like, either an example or two, or
Yes.
here's of what's not a hardship, that kind of
Yes.
stuff.
I agree,
Just to
Woody,
help
I think it would
lead
save
people.
everybody some time and energy,
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
good point, Kevin. Yeah, and if you want to circulate it ahead of time, we can get some ideas down,
Sure.
because then everybody, by the time we get here, everyone's tired, right? You guys want to check these boxes and leave. Other business, a minimum of 2/3, 67%, all this I don't understand, favorable vote, tell me about this one.
We got an request today for an extension, and we'd have to add it to the agenda with a 2/3 vote of you guys.
Oh,
And then you could consider, this happens to be nearby, well, if you don't mind, make a motion to accept this as a additional item first.
okay, so we need to make a motion to accept one additional item to the agenda. I'll make a motion.
I second it.
Thank you, Kevin. All in favor? Okay, what do you want to share with us, the additional item?
Yeah, it's in the flood zone nearby on Cherry Street.
Mhm.
They've been through us, it's extremely complex project. Boy, I could talk for half an hour about it.
Is this
Anyway.
the application that we reviewed like 4 months ago? on Cherry Street?
Yeah, well, it was actually 6 months ago now.
6 months ago.
But it was in a flood zone. The previous owners had converted what was supposed to be a garage to a master bedroom.
Right.
Twice it was flooded. Twice they submitted FEMA reimbursement. Not what you want. Current owner is actually going to lift, take out the non-conforming living space, fix the problems. But they also have to get the P&Z Commission, which is coming up shortly, for their flood damage prevention part of the project. Flood vents, they have to lift and modify the foundation, all kinds of stuff.
Is this the first extension?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Kevin would probably say it's an improvement to the property, improvement to the neighborhood, sure.
Yeah, I mean, and this is their first extension,
Yeah,
sounds like.
we
there's
always grant a first
ample
extension,
good
yes.
cause- Ample good cause.
Legitimate reason why.
Yeah.
they
Oh,
are.
yeah.
I
Okay,
make a motion to give them their 6-month extension.
Second.
I'm in favor. All 4-0, Woody.
Thank you.
Grant the extension. All right.
Motion to adjourn?
So that's all I have on my agenda, so I will make a motion to adjourn. It is 8:44 PM. That's a record.
Nice job. Jeff.
Eat it. All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment? Aye, thank you all for your service.
Next month's meeting? Is it,
April 17th?